This is the Dzogchen Sunday Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For multiple decades, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. It is Rey Skywalker's Sunday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after we review neuroscience and meditation. Why do many mythologies explore a fall from grace? Ask an archaeologist and they will tell you that there's great evidence to support that for approximately 300,000 years, our Paleolithic ancestors enjoyed a type of matriarchal proto-communism, where people were conditioned to be flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Approximately 13,000 years ago, our Neolithic ancestors endured a patriarchy's proto-capitalism, wherein people were conditioned to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. Perhaps that is why Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, including people, including meditation teachers. These are the meditation teachers who implore their students to actively focus and actively analyze. Sadly, doing so can so fatigue the medial as well as dorsolateral prefrontal cortex that it triggers the amygdala, which functions as the seat of both anxiety and aggression. However, when we passively cooperate with both facets of our of our autonomic nervous system, not only does it calm the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala, not only does it increase our awareness and our peace, but it gently stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. Sounds great. Sign me up. How do we do this? Let us begin with mindfulness, the seventh fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, which functions as the core of our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly watch all mind's antics of perception. You know, sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. All of them, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the convenient to the arduous, from the glorious to the grotesque. But what are we to do with that which we have noticed? Every time we exhale, well, in essence, we practice meditation, which is the eighth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. You see, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not. We have evolved to access both the tippy top and the very bottom of our spinal cord. These two, working as a team, function as the core of our parasympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release during each exhalation to such a degree that that which we want during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void. When I was in 4th grade, I had the good fortune to be taught that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Because at that time, my idea of a good simile was all about Star Trek. So what is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. And so whether we're talking about no self or emptiness, they are both just metaphors to describe the fleeting experience latent within each exhalation. So potent is this mindfulness and meditation that by simply practicing it once every 12 hours, we cannot help but master the eightfold path of enlightenment, which is nothing less. Let me rephrase. We cannot help but master the Buddha's eightfold path, which is nothing less than enlightenment itself. The word mastery could seem a little daunting, but remember, we are already wired to master things. As children, we mastered using the commode, brushing our teeth, tying our shoes, riding a bike, reading, writing, and arithmetic. By simply playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, not only could we master these two things, but by simply playing with these two things, we cannot help but master the first fold of the path, the wisdom of letting go. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more we cannot help but practice kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and kind commerce. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more our choices and utterances and deeds flow, not from contrived calculations, nor from wild scatteredness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity. This is known by many names, including right effort, or effortless effort, or doing without doing, or wu wei, or going with the flow, or being in the zone, or expedient means. Perhaps that is why the Buddha taught that it is possible to master his path in as little as 7 days. In preparation for this evening's practice of mindfulness and meditation, of clarity and letting go, let us gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. What is the easiest way to do this? We simply use the tip of our left index finger to support the first knuckle, or the lower knuckle, of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Let us not make the mistake of actively focusing on our nostrils and our breath. for doing so triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. Instead, let us learn from the example of the piano student who was too busy actively focusing on their sheet music and the keyboard to actively focus on the sound of the metronome. And instead, they hold the sound of the metronome in passive peripheral awareness. Let us do likewise. As we passively notice air enter our nostrils, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb, watch. As we passively notice air exit our nostrils, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb, rest. Here's a great trick we can use to time our meditation. We'll begin with our first minute. Every time we silently and mentally recite the verb watch during our inhalation, let us advance our right thumb across the sets of creases found on the underside of its fingers. Together, let us do that right now. We have completed our first minute. But if we wish to meditate for an additional 12 minutes, let us use our left thumb to count each set of 12 inhalations each, for a total of 12 sets. Remember, the moment you have a specific question about the philosophies or techniques that support meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 13 minutes or so. To keep track of our second collection of 13 sets of 12 inhalations each, let's slide that tip of our left index finger up our right index finger until we come to its second knuckle. Let us now shift gears. In preparation for our mindfulness and meditation of bliss and letting go, let us gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at our chest. Doing so is as easy as using the tip of our left middle finger to support the lower knuckle of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. As we passively notice our chest swelling with breath, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb, feel. As we feel our chest subtly sink as we exhale, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb, rest. Now, the moment you have a specific question about the philosophies or techniques that support mindfulness and meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 13 minutes or so. If you live in a country enduring a rise of fascism, as I do, it is natural to long for something better for oneself and for others. We do not need to search for such thoughts. They will come up of their own accord. Simply watch them and relax into them. That is the key to effortless manifestation. Or I should say effortless manifesting. Having sat for the better part of an hour, we might find it refreshing to perform some what I like to describe as spiritual squat thrusts after a brief contemplation. In our compassion, may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of dread, desire, and delusion, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In our pragmatism, may our liberation of all others be fueled by our mastery of the three wish-fulfilling jewels, of following the Buddha's example, applying his instructions, and cooperating with his students. The eight-syllable synopsis of this contemplation is as follows. May we free all through the three jewels. So give me a moment to adjust the camera. Woof. Uff. Grunting in Yiddish is optional. Oof. Oi. May we free all through the three jewels. May we free all through the three jewels. May we free all through the three jewels. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers just like you. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's dawn practice of Meditate Like a Jedi. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.